Hey, what's going on? This is Kyle at ProjectionHub, and today I'm going to be talking about what are 6 quick tips to level up your business plan. Now, at ProjectionHub, we help people with financial projections. We help people with business plans. A lot of times that's in preparation for SBA loans or starting a business or raising investment. And in my time with ProjectionHub, I help our clients write custom business plans. I help create business plan templates. I review a lot of business plans. So just a lot of familiarity with business plans. And before my time with ProjectionHub, I was an SBA loan officer for almost 7 years. And so that looked like helping people prepare their loan application, which largely consisted of reviewing their business plan, reviewing their projections, asking questions, giving feedback. And so I kind of know what the lender's looking for in the business plan. And so something I hear all the time for people that, watch our videos or download our free tools or free templates, or even our clients that use our, more premium products and our services, is they're just asking for feedback. So maybe we have someone says, hey, I've written my business plan, but I'd love some feedback. I don't really know what to do with it from here. And a lot of times my feedback is the same. So, it's very clear when someone's written a business plan that they kind of are the expert on the topic in the business itself, and they kind of know a little bit about, specific things, but they're not the expert on how to present that data to the lender. They don't really know how the lender wants to see that. And so the point of this video is to hopefully give you 6 quick tips on, let's assume you've written a basic business plan, and maybe some things you can do to upgrade it and level it up a little bit and kind of get it prepared for a lender. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna show off those tools and I'll demonstrate some of them for you. I'll link to them and try to give you some more information that you need to know about that. So as I mentioned, my name is Kyle. At ProjectionHub, we help people with financial projections, business plans, preparing for SBA loans, you name it. And so if any of that rings a bell for you, or during this video, the financial projection section can be a tricky part of the business plan. We've got ways to help, and we'd be happy to help you with that. But if you have any questions at any point in time, leave a comment down below the video or reach out to us directly at support@projectionhub.com. We'd be happy to help you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. All right, here we go. And first off, what I have here on the backdrop is, like I mentioned in the intro of this video, this is probably going to be coming more from the angle of you've already written a basic business plan, and the 6 things I'm going to show you are to try and improve it. In the event that you're at the beginning and you're still just kind of researching and feeling things out, we do have a bunch of free business plan templates available. There's 60 or 70 in here. And so I've linked that down in the description below. You can go find the one for your industry. If you don't see your industry in here, we do have a general business plan template that's a little bit more generic, but the structure will help you out there. And here's one of them right here, is the Med Spa business plan. And I might use this as an example throughout this video, but just, that's where this is coming from. So I have a business plan to show you. But yeah, if you're all the way at the beginning, feel free to go grab one of those, and that might be helpful. Okay, so 6 quick tips. Quick. I'm long-winded, so they may not be that quick. But things you can do today to improve your business plan. Okay, as I mentioned, a lot of times people say, hey, can you just give me feedback on my business plan? And they send it over to me, and it's a Word document or a Google Doc, and it's 7 pages long, and there's no imagery in it, and it's kind of just like their thoughts the best they could to get down to paper. And I'm not criticizing it. That's totally fine. Honestly, as a loan officer, I preferred the very simple, short business plan, but there are some things I think that can help it along a little bit. The first point that I'm going to make, and you may not like this, you may not feel super comfortable with this, but what I'm going to recommend is using a tool like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever one you're comfortable with. I would recommend ChatGPT just because you can use one of their best models for free. And what I'm not recommending, I'm not telling you to use ChatGPT to write your business plan. I don't think you should do that. But because, and assuming you've already written a basic business plan, what this can do a really good job at is kind of making it sound better. It can level it up. Okay, so I am not an advocate of using ChatGPT to come up with your business concepts for you. I don't, unless you're purely in the ideation stage, I don't think it makes sense to just have ChatGPT just, completely make up a business plan for you that isn't related to what you actually plan to do. But if you've got all the core components down on paper, you've got the bones there, you've got the details and some facts and some things like that, and you just need a little help making it sound better, this is such a great tool to do that. And I'm not saying we need to do this for the sake of making our business plans long or fancy sounding, but it can just make things flow a little bit nicer or provide recommendations on, things you should add into it or whatnot. So that's how I would recommend using ChatGPT. We do have a video that I made 4 months ago, it looks like, about how to write a business plan using ChatGPT in 2024 with a human touch. And that kind of goes along the same line. So that example is gonna be more like if you're starting from scratch, and if you wanted to use ChatGPT, how I would use it in a business plan. When we write our business plans, that's not how we're doing it, obviously. But I think if you can, what we want to avoid is relinquishing the control and the ideation and the leadership aspect to the AI tool. We don't want it to do that. But instead, if you can master it, if you can be the master, the leader, you can guide it through what you want. You can give it the core facts and just have it improve them a little bit. That's where it can be a very powerful tool. So that would be quick tip number 1. Take your 7-page business plan. That's kind of your scrambled thoughts or maybe incomplete, sentences or ideas or whatever, and have a conversation with it. How would you improve this? Can you go through section by section and write a new version of this without hallucinating is the word. We don't want it to make up anything new and add it in there. That's not true. But how can you take what I've already provided you and make it sound a little bit better, and then copy and add that into your business plan? Obviously review what it writes, but that's a really good and quick way to upgrade just the flow of your business plan, the way that it reads. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, and this is one of my favorite tools. And let's just, let me just clear this out from scratch. Actually, let me just go here so we can start it from scratch. You can create a free Google Ads account. And then once you've created a free account, you come in, you go down to tools, and then you go to keyword planner. And then I come here to discover new keywords. And what I really like to use this tool for is, especially if your business is going to have a physical presence. So if you're going to be brick and mortar, if you're going to have a retail space, if you're going to have a therapy clinic, if you're going to have a doctor's office, if you're going to have you name it, right? So when local matters and you're going to have customers that are local in your local market, this is a perfect tool for doing this. And this is a really great way to level up a business plan. And so what this tool will allow us to do is we can see how often are people searching for specific phrases on Google each month in a specific location. So let's say we're opening up a spa. Okay. So I want to say spa near me, maybe med spa. I know that's different, but we're going to add in here. Massage near me, day spa near me, spa Indianapolis, which is where I live. I can't even spell my own city right. It is a hard city to spell. So I'm going to give it a few. I think you can give it up to 10. And then you can click this little button here and you can add in a location. So you can see I've already got Indianapolis. I want to see that search history within the city. You can get more specific than that. You can get wider than that. But we're going to do Indianapolis for this case. Okay. And then I'm going to click get results. And we're going to get some interesting data here. So the first thing to point out is there's columns of results here. You can add more columns. I just have limited it to these 3 because these are the 3 that are most important for typically what I use it for, but you can add more things in. So the first thing it's going to do, it's going to add ideas for other things I didn't even search for, but it believes to be related. It's going to show us on average how many monthly searches for that term. It's going to show us on the 3-month trend, is it up or down in the last 3 months compared to the previous 3 months? And then the most important thing to me is the year-over-year change. So that's going to be, from now versus last year, how does that trend line compare? And so I'm going to switch this to go to number of searches. I want it to be filtered basically by the top searches first. And then we want to look at some of the trend data. So depending upon what type of, search results are going to be most relevant to your type of business. So let's say I'm opening a spa that's going to specialize in massages. And I can see there's a very healthy amount of searches for. So I want you to think about this as if somebody already knew where they wanted to get a massage, they would not search massage near me. someone searching that is representing a new potential client. Everyone's looking for a place they can be a regular. So if someone's searching for that, that means they're a new customer. They're up for grabs. Either they are trying it out for the first time, or they're disappointed and they're moving on to a new thing. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is just over 12,000 new potential customers per month in my search area. The other thing is there's a 49% increase year over year in people looking for a massage near me. That is an indication of strong demand, growth in demand for my services. So how can this improve your business plan? One of the key components of a business plan is market research. What lenders hate to see in a market research is when someone says, the spa industry is a $700 billion industry, and we just need to capture 0.001% of that to be successful. That is so unattainable that doesn't belong in a business plan. What they care about is the local addressable market landscape. Is there actually growth in the demand? Is there room for another spa in the market? If there's overwhelming demand, that's very supportive of you. If this was a negative trend, that doesn't mean you can't start a business. That just means your focus needs to shift more to how you're going to compete and disrupt a market versus the fact that there is a quickly growing market and there's market share up for grabs. And so I would much rather this be the case than having to say, well, we're just going to have to compete and steal from someone else, because that's going to require some other things. But you can see this is really great. So take screenshots of this data. We can see that, I would take snipping tool, boom, I would grab that. I would throw that in my business plan. I'd put some narrative around it. That is supportive of the demand for the services you hope to provide, right? In my example of opening a spa, this is something you can do. So create a free Google AdWords account, look up some phrases that are going to be related to the things you hope your potential customers will be searching for, or you think your potential customers are searching for in your location, and see what the trend data says. If it's really helpful to your business plan, throw it in there, okay? All right, so that is that's only number 2. Okay, great, we've got a few more to go here. Number 3 on our quick tips to improve your business plan today. And another thing I should mention, if I didn't just say it already, short-term memory loss, so let's see if I'm forgetting. When you take a screenshot and you add that into your business plan, you need to explain it. You can't just throw the screenshot in there and then that's, fine and dandy. That looks a little too sloppy. So make sure you add some sentences. Again, if you want to use a tool like ChatGPT, give it explain to it what you just saw here and say, like, it's clear there's a growth in search demand. Here's the image of that, and have it summarize it in a few sentences, and then take that and put it in your business plan. So it sounds nice and it looks good in there. Okay, point number 3 on things you can improve it today. If you haven't heard of Canva, this is basically like a helpful graphic design tool. It's like a light version of, you can use Canva in more professional ways, but it's a more attainable, accessible tool for people who aren't graphic designers to make things that look nice. So you can make a free account, and this is a really great way to make a nice cover photo for your business plan. Exhibit A here, you probably wouldn't want to use the ProjectionHub default med spa business plan cover photo, but you can make, I think this was made using Canva. You can make your very own. They have templates to make it really easy. You can change the text and add some images. You can do that for free. I think that the free account is just limited by the number of assets you can use. Maybe it limits the number of downloads you can make, but you can absolutely make something like that for free. So that's a quick way to level it up and to look nice. Let's do this. Number 4, and this is probably a little bit more detailed than surface level, okay? So, and that's going to be leveling up your financial projections. So again, using the example of someone says like, hey, I already wrote my basic business plan. Can you review it for me? Let's say in that example case, they haven't made projections yet, or they didn't use us to make projections. Usually my first recommendation is going to be, well, how do your financial projections look? And so just to give you a quick idea of what we're looking at, back to our free example business template here. If I go down to the financial projections section, you can see we've got some charts and graphs in here. There's a whole video on how to make projections for a med spa. We've got some tables in here, operating expenses. We've got our profit and loss projections. We've got cash flow projections. We've got a balance sheet, charts and graphs, break even point. So the projections are probably the most overwhelming and intimidating part of a business plan. Now, just to quickly clarify, Your business plan and your financial projections are two different documents. Your financial projections are probably going to be a whole Excel worksheet you got. Maybe you're doing it on pen and paper, whatever. You should have your numbers separate. And then you're taking the highlights from those and then you're putting that into your business plan. Okay, so these highlights here came from one of our financial projection templates. Now, this is going to sound like a commercial. It is going to be kind of a commercial for ProjectionHub, but I still promise you, if you haven't made projections or your projections are mostly just estimates on, the back of a napkin or something like that, this is going to be the most significant improvement you can make to your business plan, is by having real financial projections. Now, there's a few ways you can get financial projections done. You can pay an accountant to do them. That's perfectly acceptable. And obviously you'll get a good outcome. Might be a little expensive. 2, you can buy a financial projection template or use a resource online, which is what I'm demonstrating for you here. We have a library of 150 different types of industries. You can go to our website, find the one that suits you. There's a video guide for every single template. There's free support with them. You'll work directly with me and my colleagues if you have questions as you're filling it out. But here's an example of what that will look like. And the third option, I guess I should have mentioned, is you can hire a service like us to create your financial projections. Obviously gonna be more expensive than buying a template, but probably more affordable than hiring a dedicated accountant to do them. So what this tool will do, we only input information on these blue tabs here inside the blue boxes. So we'll have a little assumptions tab. So if we're gonna I know my face is covering up a little bit, but if you're gonna have an investor, if you're buying any assets, if you're gonna have a loan, this tab looks overwhelming, but again, you're only changing the things in the blue boxes. Your template will come pre-filled out, which is helpful as a starting point. This is the Yoga Studio financial projection template. So the best thing about our projection templates is that they're already industry specific. So if we have your industry, all of the labeling will make sense. The inputs will make sense. It's geared specifically towards your industry. You'll put in your monthly expenses that you would estimate. Do you plan to have any salaried employees now or in the future? And then it's going to generate all those nice charts and graphs and tools, the financial statements for you, which is great, right? You can tweak numbers and all that automatically gets updated. So that makes it really easy to take charts and graphs and projections and put them into your business plan. So that's going to be the key point I'm trying to make, is depending upon what the quality of your financial projections are, this isn't a free way to upgrade them, but it is a very affordable way to upgrade them. Get a projection template, do your financial projections, put those into your business plan. We've got hundreds of other videos, and in probably half of them we talk about how financial projections are one of the most important parts of your business plan, one of the most important parts of applying for a loan, you name it. But that is a quick way. I promise you can make a complete set of financial projections in less than an hour using with one of those templates. And if you get stuck, you just ask us, because we include free support. Okay, so that was was that number 4? Yes, number 4. Number 5, and that is going to be, sorry, just looking at my notes, and that is, provide a detailed account of your relevant industry experience or your relevant transferable skills. Now I'm going to pull back up our free business plan to give you an example here, because one of the key points listed in our free business plans is relevant industry experience. So one of the most important things that a lender is looking for in your loan application or your business plan when they're reading it is they basically want to have confidence that you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting yourself into. So it's going to be really hard to overcome the red flag if your lender's like, I don't really know if this person knows what they're doing. You're probably not going to be able to overcome that. It doesn't matter how good your credit score is. It doesn't matter how much cash you have, whatever. If they can't believe that you're capable of running this business, that's going to be kind of a non-starter for them. So assuming that you're starting a business in something that you have experience or you know something about, you really want to make sure that you're hammering that point home. Okay. So I recommend in our free business plan templates, key point number 3, that's usually down the operations and management section, which you do want to talk about your experience there. Not only your experience, but if you have a partner in the business, talk about their experience. If you have a key manager you're planning to already hire, talk about their experience. If you have a key employee you're planning to hire, talk about their experience. But also, you should give a snippet to that in your executive summary. I know this is a bad example because it's not included in there, but do that. Key 1.5, ownership experience or management experience or whatever it needs to be, or ownership, and then talk about your experience. So if you have direct relevant industry experience, you need to talk about that all day long. So if you're starting a med spa, say that I was the manager of a med spa for 7 years. I was an esthetician, is that what they're called, in a med spa for 13 years. Whatever. If you have direct experience, that should be the first thing you talk about in your experience. Let's say you don't have experience in a med spa, but you have other relevant skill sets. You should talk about those things next. So potentially it's, I have experience of working in management in retail for a decade. I worked as an executive marketer for 13 years, leading sales and advertising, or whatever that is. Your experience doesn't have to be that lofty. I'm just saying you really want to drive home if you have direct relevant experience, that's the most important thing to talk about. If you don't have direct relevant experience and if you're feeling a little insecure about that, dig deep and try to find reasons to connect what you do know about towards those things. And if your experience is limited, that's not the end of the world. You just need to supplement your experience. How do you do that? You add a partner to the business who does have relevant experience. If you don't have a partner to add to the business, you need to find a manager that can help and make sure you get them on board that has relevant experience. If you can't find a manager, you add in a key employee that has relevant experience. If you can't find a key employee, you have mentors. And I listed those in that order for a reason. The most important, experience is going to be the ones that are more obligated to stay and be involved in the business. So that is going to be the 5th quick tip to improve your business plan today. If you haven't already in your business plan, or even if you already have, talk even more about your experience, your skill set, and why you know what you're doing in this business, because we want to make sure we leave no doubt for the lenders that you are capable. So talk about that down in your operations and management section, and also give them a quick little snippet in the executive summary, because if this is the first thing they read, you want them to know, mental note like, oh yes, they know what they're doing. They've done this before, okay? And then the last quick tip is going to be using a tool like Pinterest. Add some pictures to your business plan. Okay, now you don't need too many. We don't need to overload pictures. I'm talking just a couple, right? So a lot of the tips I've given you today, grab a screenshot from your keyword research. That can be a nice visual in there. Add a cover photo. That's a nice visual in there. Have your financial projections, charts, and graphs. Those are nice visuals in there. So you can see these are different kinds of visuals that break up the text and help things flow and visualize what you're talking about a little bit. So I'm not saying put pictures in for picture's sake, but the example I'm going to give you from Pinterest is, let's say I'm opening up a bookstore, and this can be a nice tool to help you find pictures that match the vision you have in your head. Okay, so maybe you're early in the process and it doesn't make sense to pay for mock-ups of the space or whatever yet. This is the next best thing. Spend some time searching. You can, dig into additional filters to try to find the specific style. Try to be realistic in what you're doing, right? If you're opening up a bookstore, don't include a picture of like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, because that's just not probably real life for what you're going to do. So try to make it attainable. Try to avoid using AI art, because it's going to make it way unrealistic to attain that. But something like this looks nice. Like, that's obviously a real picture. You could probably replicate that. So use pictures like that to try and match the vision you have in your head. Another great thing you can do in Pinterest is layouts. Okay, so again, maybe in your business planning stage, you haven't identified a space yet. Again, let's use the bookstore concept. And so maybe you don't know the type of space you're going to have and what the floor plan of that building is going to look like. But maybe you can try to find a vision for what your floor plan is going to be. So you can come on here and explore other people's bookstore floor plans. Find one that you'd be like, oh, this would be great. I like this simple layout, right? You can look for different ones, find examples of those, add those types of things to your business plan. So that's going to be my 6th point, is helping visualize what the customer experience will be like, what the vision's going to be like, what the layout might be like. and have a few pictures in there for that. That's another great way to help visualize your business plan in that section. So there you have it. That is 6 quick tips to improve your business plan today. If this video was helpful and you like this video, feel free to like it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like more business plan content, SBA application content, financial projections, starting a business, growing a business. That's what we're here for. If you have any questions at all, you can leave a comment down below the video. We're very responsive down there. Or you can contact us directly at support@projectionhub.com. I linked whatever relevant tools we talked about today down in the description below, including a link to get a discount code, our most up-to-date promo code on one of the projection templates if you need to make financial projections. And of course, if you have questions about creating financial projections, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. So without further ado, I wish you the best of luck improving your business plan, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.